What is going on? This is Sam going on for SAMOK Fit. Checking in with you guys. You guys are doing well, doing terrific, and we are back with another video. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about something that I think it's quite common. It's well known, but still a lot of people still lacking from, and that is training with intensity.
You're getting intense right now.
You're the intensity. And if there's anything that we all can agree on when it comes to fitness, there's a lot of things in the fitness industry that is very controversial that you might agree on or disagree on. But I think one thing a lot of people can agree on is training to failure or close to failure. It's always beneficial when it comes to hypertrophic training, or if your goal is to gain a lot of lean tissue mass. So that is what we are going to be covering today. Not only are we going to cover that, I'm going to be giving some tips that I share with all my clients just to make sure when they are checking in from week to week basis, we make sure their intensity is up to where we need to be so they can keep crushing their goals. And I'll be sharing that with you guys. Two major tips, by the way. Two major tips. It's going to be quick, easy, effective, something you can apply literally right now and right this week, and you are going to see significant amount of changes in your fitness level and the results you are getting from your training session. So right now I am on my week 4 of my training program. It's Sunday. Sunday is normally my upper body session. That's what we are getting after today, and of course sipping on that good BPN flight. I did not take my creatine this morning, so I mixed my creatine. I did an 8-mile run yesterday, so I'm adding some electrolytes. And if you are training and you're not really getting like a good pump in the gym, it's either one, add a little bit of dash of sodium into your pre-workout, or add some electrolytes into your pre-workout. That can level up the significance of the pump that you are getting in the gym, because sodium is a nutrient transporter and electrolyte, it's a nutrient transporter also. So give that a shot. I got that all mixed up here. I'm gonna sip on that. We got a full upper body session on deck today. And yes, let's get after it.
Yeah, I'm all in. Brody on the line, I'm tapping in. God out here pulling the strings for me. A girl on the line, she feeling me. Preoccupied by the motivation. Put in the time, pay the entry fee. Bro on the rise, yeah, he kinda nice. Inside of my mind, no one's real as me. Lately, life has been gorgeous. Wake up to clear, my eyes hit recorded. Praise up to God, I ain't chasing no bitch. Swinging and miss, got me hitting these licks. I get the orders, don't get it distorted. Disconnected, I've been cordless, I've been cordial, I've been exploring. I got a whole lot, but somehow I want more of it. Yeah, I want to tour and put on for the soil. Hey, bruh, remember they used to ignore us? Now they dropped me the pin with the cord and they catch me running through the ordinance. Remember we couldn't afford the whip. Pushing the scraper, that shit was so ageless. We blowing on grapes for the flavor.
So what you guys saw in the last few minutes is just pretty much warm up. Warmed up, shoulder mobility, and then we started with the bench press. So today the first move is going to be bench press. Right now, if you follow me on Instagram, I've already talked about the slingshot before, and if you're not using the slingshot, something I highly recommend for you to use, especially if you have some shoulder injuries that you're trying to manage. So the slingshot allows you to kind of just allows your upper arm to do what it's supposed to do, pretty much adducts, right, when you're benching. So for me, when I have maybe a little bit of a shoulder twinge here and there, using the slingshot kind of just keeps me honest a little bit. It keeps my shoulder nice and intact. And if you're looking for ways to improve your bench press also, there's something that can definitely be applicable that you can add to your routine that kind of gets you out of that sticking point, which is typically in the hole.
That's what she said.
This is week 4 of my training program. In the week 3, I started incorporating this, and I will keep this until my end of the mesocycle. And the way to standardize that essentially is just, okay, if I'm going to be using it, and I'm not going to use it in week 3, not using it in week 4, week 5, I'm going to use it from here on out. So if I'm standardizing this the way it is, I'm just adding more load or adding more rep. It's still allowing me to train in the right amount of intensity. So this is my first set. So looking for so last week I did 275, 275. So here we are going to be doing 295 with the reps of 6 to 8.
All of a sudden we major, still independent by no label. For now I'm going hard enough that the streams will lead to a house by the beach. All of this done with the speech. Filling my pockets for now, for later. I want the picket for some sign of the neighbors. I used to skip out on the payments. Nowadays I tax for the labor. Dog on the line, you ain't tapping in. I'm staying clear, fake rapper friends. Kamikaze on the traffic cam. Only one.
Talking about intensity, I'm glad I was able to actually do more. Match the reps that I did on the previous cycle, which is last week. And I was able to increase more load, add 20 pounds, and match my first set. While I recover from that set, I want to share with you the first point, the first strategy or technique that you can apply to make sure you are, training with the right amount of intensity or to failure, close to failure. And the main point I'm going to be sharing is going to be coming on later. But in order for that main point to apply, you need to make sure, one, you are on a training program, meaning not just winging it. Hey, listen, if you're just getting started in fitness training, you can show up to the gym. Showing up to the gym, that's a win on its own. So you can do whatever you want, check the box. But if you're truly serious about making some improvements in your physique, you need to be intentional about the way you train. And part of that intentionality is meaning you need to have a structured training program. So if you are serious about making gains, one, you want to add more intensity, or want to make sure you are training close to failure, yes, you can get away with not having any sort of training structure. But in order for you to be serious or make those gains, you need to make sure you are on a structured training program.
Shot to navigate the labyrinth of keeping it late, burn it down to the ash. My life been much more than imagine. I got where I'm at with the passion. Traded all to live it backwards. Pray we ain't make it through the night. Oh, we ain't make it through the night. You can see it when you look into my eyes.
So just to prove to you guys that I practice what I preach, this is my login. As you can see, this is week 3. What I did 275, and the first repetition is 887. So I scroll over to week 4 of my training program here. You can see on here that it's gonna be flat bench 295, and I did 8776.
When you look into my, you can see that I'm grind all day. Life been going my way. Life been going my way. When I grind all day. Life been going my way. Life been going my way. Yeah, the word on my back like a atlas. Lit down the ashes. Shit do not come with no practice. Recipe, passion, and liquor with God in the passenger. Prayer that crashes. I'm in my basket.
If you don't track your movement, if you don't track your workouts, it's kind of hard for you to increase intensity or increase the load. Yes, you can probably put it mentally in your head, but a lot of times you got a lot of, especially the older you get, you got a bunch of shit going on in your life. And I don't remember literally what I did 5 minutes ago, let alone what I did last week. So logging your training can visually see or can plan your attack before you even get to the training session. Okay, these are my intentions. This is what I have to do today. This is what I'm trying to reach today. So having that intentionality with your training allows you to put yourself in a position where you can slowly and actually see how well you're training and increase the intensity from training session to training session. And oftentimes a lot of people see a guy that, like me, or a lot of guys that's natural or jacked because they've been doing this particular structure, logging the training week to week, challenging themselves week to week in the gym to the point where they have, where they've grown to the physique that you guys see now. And a lot of times, a lot of younger guys have not really done anything, see these guys in the gym like, man, roids, when you haven't even cracked the surface on how to train properly. So if you haven't done that, if you haven't done that or gotten close, you can't really complain that you're not making gains. And when you're somebody that's improving, that's been training for 20 years and applying these sort of strategies and structure into their training and seeing results, you cannot claim they're not natty because they've been doing something as simple as logging your training, being on a structured training program, and to be seeing results. That's why they've been doing it. So if you're trying to see some gains, one, make sure you train intensity. But for you to do that, you need to make sure you are on a structured training program.
But ignorant, I'm dapper but ratchet. I play around in the traffic. I take the risk. Look at me stack up the chips. I play roulette with the magnum. Right till I die. I'm not afraid of the casket. I'm on the run. I'm chasing the thrills. I'm hungry. I'm starving. I lust for the meal. Lately, I'm blue like the bills. Yeah. I'm elevated, overeducated. I run the race for who I resonate with. I break the bread with Jesus who work the late shift. Break the ground, shake up the simulation. Reshape the sound, needed renovation. All that quickly vacated the premises. I feed off my enemy entities. I rock the crown with a tilt. Ain't nobody done it like this. I'm having fun, I'm wild, I spaz when I serve with the stylist. I'm breaking them over with the hits. Only got one life to live. I'm antisocial at the function. They make me out to be the bad guy. I circle micro, if you had a scope, you still couldn't see us through the glass eyes. Real evasive when it's average chasers. Dressed to kill like I'm going places. Better late than fake, just hoping that we make it. Pray we ain't make it through the night. Oh, we ain't make it through the night. You can see it when you look into my eyes. When you look into my
Main and the biggest point I'm going to be sharing with you guys about, how you can make sure you are training with the right amount of intensity or at the right amount of intensity, meaning you training to failure or close to failure, because we already established that is one of the things you need to do to make sure you are doing in the gym to make sure you're putting yourself in a position to keep getting that lean tissue mass and getting big. And the way to do that a lot of times is quite difficult because oftentimes a lot of people don't know how to train to their failure or close to the failure. They might think they train to failure, but oftentimes you probably have more in the tank than you think. Best way or the strategy that I use for all my clients to make sure they are meeting the right RPE skill, especially if you're training by yourself, the strategy essentially is, for example, if you are doing bench press, for instance, or you're doing some lateral raises, or especially when it comes to leg training, chances are you're probably going to sabotage yourself, meaning you are going to fall short or allow yourself to fall short of that true RPE skill. In class chest press, for instance, and you're trying to get to RPE of 8, with 10 to 12 repetitions. And when you get to like 11, you're like, okay, that's RPE of 8. If you are training by yourself, chances are you probably could do one more rep that's actually gonna put you in that RPE of 8. So what I encourage all my clients to do is, when you establish in your mind that, okay, this is RPE of 8, do one more rep. Because that one more rep is gonna get you a little more closer to your prescribed RPE that you're trying to reach for that week. And of course, as I mentioned in the past, in order for you to establish this or to make sure you standardize in this process is to make sure you are on a training program. First point, make sure you're on a training program. And second point is make sure you are doing one more rep when you reach your perceived RPE or RIR. So that is the two main points, and I guarantee you, if you are on a structured training program, two, if you are challenging yourself and putting yourself by default, if you think you have one more rep in the tank, do one more rep. Finally, like I said at the beginning of the video, oftentimes somebody that's like been training for 20 years and they've applied this structure, and you have somebody that's younger, that's only been training for 2 years, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I need to hop on the sauce, hop on the juice because I'm not seeing results, and you have not even trained properly, you've not been on a structured training program. Well, guess what? Don't care about how much gear you're on, you're not gonna get results. Gear might just be half of the equation right there. You still need to make sure your nutrition is on point, you still need to make sure your training technique and your training stimulus and your training demand or effort and energy is at the right point. So sauce is not always the key. Right, if you plan on hopping on the sauce in the future, establish that routine right now. Establish that routine so you can know how to train to the right amount of intensity. I'm not preaching, I'm not saying you should hop on the sauce. I'm T-Natty all day. We earned this, baby. No extra sauce here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, give this video a thumbs up. Share with your buddies, your training partner, somebody that you maybe just getting started in your fitness journey. Share with your friends so you guys can keep yourself accountable as you go on your fitness journey. This is SAMOK from SAMOK Fit, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.